Ladies and motherfucking gentlemen, it is let me see here. This is the practice account, boys, by the way, so don't trip about that. Hold up. What day is it? It is July 22nd. Oh my god. It is July 22nd. We actually had a really good day today. Besides a bit of chop. The market ultimately did not move from market open in terms of percentage. Look where we ended and look where we started. There no gain. It was a complete sideways day. It was a Monday with no news, low volatility. Shit goes on, and I love Ice Spice. Anyway, let me get this shit right. If we start off on the 4 hour here, you can see we started the day. Well, when we got on the charts, we started the day on this candlestick. So we're looking for this break of structure to the upside in order to consider ourselves bullish. We were not bullish. We were bearish. So with that being said, we were waiting, excuse me, to see if this candlestick was going to break structure to the upside, inverse or invalidate this imbalance, and send us higher. We did not do that. What did we do? We ended up rejecting these highs. All we done was sweat previous day liquidity, which was Friday's Asia session and New York session liquidity. With that being said, we actually ended up taking 2 losses, which was fine. Okay, let me set this straight. We took 1 loss, but both losses were the size of half of 1 loss. Does that make sense? We did not go full risk on. We literally lost 0.45%. So it was not even 0.5% of what we would normally risk on an average day and or 1% on a confident day. So let me get this right. Let me get this straight actually for y'all. With that being said, we had market open come in right here. This is market open. We were watching this 1 hour candlestick to see if we broke structure. The upside, we did not. What were we looking for? What were our draws on liquidity? They were these previous day highs. This is our liquidity for the day. As you can see here, we have relatively equal highs here. These were our draws. So we're watching the market pull in. We want to see a close below these areas. We can scale then into the lower time frame. We have market open here. We create, this is ultimately pre-market liquidity. We sweep it, we pull down, we close, and we continue higher for our previous day liquidity. And then we have this breakdown, but we don't get a break of structure to the downside. We get this another move up, making a lower high, and then we finally here get the move to the downside. With that being said, the only real opportunity we had was within this area here. Now, we could ultimately consider this our break of structure to the downside, even though we continue to break structure to the upside. We don't really have much to work with. This was not a very strong trading day. But what we did have is a confluence, and I was looking over this with the Discord. The only real trade there was to take the day on NQ was this retest of this inverse. So we have this bullish imbalance, and then we create this bearish imbalance. We come and fill it and show a really strong rejection out of this area, stops at these highs, TP, ultimately market open liquidity, and you have yourself a 3RR with barely any drawdown. That is just about the only trade that there was to be taken on NQ. Now, if you were on a bullish bias without having higher time frame confirmation, quite a simple day. You have this 1 hour imbalance right here, and you can see we come into it, respect it, and what happens? We get a break of structure to the upside, followed by an imbalance, and boom, we retest, respect that imbalance, and the day is done. Real simple, targeting previous resting liquidity, stops below the low as you have another 3 to 8-1 ratio. So this just goes to show that today was really choppy because we made the same move to both sides. So it was a low probability trading day, and we did not trade NQ because the setups just weren't there. But what we do have, let me get over to my friend ES. I'm actually just going to go over the trade itself real quick. That way, when I don't clear it, you can see here that we got stopped out by the actual tick. And we had full TP hit. Life is life and life goes on. Am I right? So let me get rid of this and we'll go over from the top down of our bias and our thought process. So we have the 4 hour here. Exact same break of structure level. And you can see with this candlestick, we push up, we sweep this liquidity, this previous day liquidity, and we close below. Sorry, that's not a break of structure, that's liquidity. We close below it. So cool. As we're pushing into this area, we're watching for New York open, and you can see we make our pre-market highs. Pre-market highs get taken out. We sweep this liquidity by the tick, and we get a break of structure to the downside, followed by an imbalance. Right. We get this imbalance, and this is oftentimes all we need to enter a position. So what are we waiting for? We're waiting for price to pull into these imbalances and show respect out of them. So on the 3 minute here, we don't really have much of a respect of these imbalances. We don't have a 5-minute close out of them. We really don't have much to work with. So what are we watching for? Me, initially, I was looking for the fill of this imbalance here, right here, which aligns ultimately with where our entry kind of was. We wanted to take the respect of this imbalance. You can see here, this is where we got in. We've seen this candle close, come up above, fill in this imbalance and close below it. So what do? We took our short position, boom, stops below or above these highs, and we were stopped out by the absolute tick. And our TPs were these lows. So you can see here, this trade ultimately was the right idea for the day, considering how much we chopped. And like, look at where we ended, look where we opened. Not much of a difference at all. With that being said, we got stopped out by the tick. Big whoop, a beautiful RR. We can't really complain about it because what's the worst that happens? We lose a trade, big whoop, we're here again tomorrow. So with that being said, you can see we broke down, created this imbalance, disrespected it, created another imbalance as we moved down lower, and we just continued falling. So ultimately, that's the whole entire outlook for the day. We were watching the 15-minute a lot because the 15-minute, we had the 1 hour being ultimately bullish, while the 4 hour was bearish, coming into market open, that is. Obviously, now we have this break of structure to the upside, so we can expect bullish movements for tomorrow at the bare minimum. But on the 15-minute here, you can see that we were looking for this break of structure to the downside to really set our day straight. We did not get that. We came down, we wicked it. 5-minute did break structure there, but it wasn't enough really. And with that being said, on NQ, on the 15-minute, look at this wick work right here. Wick, wick, wick. Like, we swept both sides of the market's liquidity at this current time. And it was like, low probability days in all honesty. So we took it slow, and that's why we were de-risked. I'm proud of the Discord. They didn't take a trade. I did. I told them not to because what I was doing wasn't following the plan to a T, but it wasn't anything like of a mental battle for me. Like, I was feeling emotional about it. I took it purely based off of easy invalidation. I know that if price comes above here and closes above this, then our trade is purely invalidated. The whole entire idea for the day. So what do? I set my stops to these highs, and we got hit by the tick, and you can see the trade did end up playing out. So how can we be mad about that? We really can't at all. With that being said, that's really the only thing that I can take away from this market recap. There's not much for us really. Like, we disrespected EQ here in this first leg down. The market was not giving us any clear confluences. And now you guys know how the strategy works. We come down from the 4 hours of bias, 1 hour confluences. The only 1 hour confluence we ultimately have is these previous day liquidity, or this previous day liquidity getting swept here by 3 different wicks. Like, absolutely disgusting. But now keep this in mind. If we were on the bullish bias, which we didn't have higher time frame confirmation to be on the bullish bias, so let's just pretend that, hey, we were on the bullish bias. We're looking for our 1 hour confluence, this 1 hour imbalance. We come into it, we get a break of structure to the upside, imbalance. Take an entry here, you're probably going to get stopped. Boom, you're stopped. But waiting for another fill of that area, you can see that we get a break of structure right here, followed by, oh, we did not. I thought I seen an imbalance here. We do not have an imbalance here, but what do we have? We have an imbalance right here, retested and respected by the next candle. Boom, long position right here. Stops below the lows and TP the highs. Literally the exact same trade, just rinse and repeat. But the reason I believe we took our losses today was a little bit of impatience because we were trying to get in this position here to catch this leg down, assuming that we were going lower. And another reason I think is because the market didn't have enough volatility to actually pick a side. All we done was go down and back up, down and back up. Where normally, by the time the market opens, we kind of have an idea of a trend. You can see here's our trend. See, here's our trend. We come up, retest this area, and continue our trend. And the same thing on these bullish days. Let me just go straight over. Eventually, we'll hit it. So you can see our trend. Boom. We come down, reevaluate price, and we continue trending. Boom, down, move up, invalidate this area, sweep these orders, continue our trend, right? Everything is about the trend. This does look like a lot of sideways movement on the lower time frames, but here's the big thing. The 1 hour here, this is all we've done today. The price movement is quite back and forth. So on days like this, the main lesson to take away is to just walk away when we realize that the markets are low probable conditions and they just aren't right for us. And that ultimately is all that we can do about it. So, boys, that is the July 22nd market recap. I know this one is not necessarily sloppy, but there's not a lot of information to take away from it. And the reason I say that, though, is because these trading days, our real only confluence was previous day liquidity. We were looking for previous day liquidity to get swept. And you can see it indeed did get swept, and we indeed did get that pushed down. Here's where the error comes in. Swept, 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 swept. Nothing really there to do because we didn't have a proper trend decided. It's a Monday with low volatility, heavy news coming this week. So we're probably just going to pick up orders and try to manipulate as many orders into the market and out of the market as we can. So that's the main takeaway, boys. I hope that you guys had a safe trading day. Hopefully you didn't take any trades because there really weren't any AA plus setups to take. And, you know, we're about those AA plus setups, even though my loss on ES was not an AA plus setup. It was more of a, I want to say it was more of like a market experience forward test experience, because it's been a while since I traded easy invalidations, but they're oftentimes a really good confluence because we know, like I said, if we're going to break above this high, we're going to continue up for the day. Why? Because this trade was taken right at this line, aka our previous day liquidity. So we know that if this candlestick wanted to come and close above here, what's going to happen? Our higher time frames are going to fold bullish. Look, they are going to turn bullish. So we just know that the trade idea, the bias, everything is invalid. So I think that's the main takeaway. We're going to focus now the next week on high probable trading days, and not every day is a trading day. So I hope this helps you guys. And yeah, that's pretty much a mix. We'll have another market recap coming out tomorrow, guaranteed. And I'm hoping that we actually have some stuff to take away from the market, which I'm already liking what I see. We have 1 hour confluences. The 4 hour on ES is broke structure to the upside. We have 1 hour or 4 hour imbalances, which we have retested. This doji is not looking healthy, but let's be real. If we were to draw from here to here, what can we see? Break into the 1 hour. Oh boy, don't even get me started here. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to save this for tomorrow's market recap to see if we get what I'm seeing, due to the fact that I'm not really here to predict what's going to happen to price in 12 hours. I'm just here to find my model, find my setup, find my bias, and understand what I'm here to do. And that is that. So, boys, nonetheless, I will catch y'all tomorrow. Love you.